Hi guys, so I just want to do a quick video about a couple of things, and I may have mentioned these things to some of you or even all of you, but I can't remember who I told what to, so I'm just going to run through a few things that are a little bit new for Max. Okay, so thing number one is deodorant. I put a deodorant and I moved it around. I had it in the top drawer of his nightstand, and then I thought maybe it was better in the bathroom downstairs because that's where he was brushing his teeth for a little while. But he's back to brushing his teeth upstairs. At least that's what I've seen him do in the mornings. So I put the deodorant there. And I'd love for him to add that as a step in his morning routine. But where in his morning routine is a little tricky. Where is the best place? I don't know. So like right after he gets out of the shower is probably best, because believe it or not, something as simple as lifting his shirt and kind of going under his shirt with the deodorant is tricky for him. Believe it or not, like he almost loses where his body is in space when he's trying to do that, and then having to switch the deodorant from one hand to the other and try it, like it's just, we tried to do it that way a couple of times, it didn't work. So he might wind up, if he does it and then puts his shirt on, he might get a little deodorant on his clothes, but I will try and get him one of those like clear deodorants. For now, it's just the white stuff. But so what I think he should do is get out of the shower. And again, this kind of changes his very routine way of doing things. So I should probably move it maybe out of his room. I had it in his nightstand in his room so that my other two boys didn't move it, but maybe I'll just kind of like really warn them to keep their hands off, because if he gets out of the shower, dries off, puts his deodorant on, and then gets dressed, I think that's going to be the easiest for him to do. And so then he'll be in the bathroom. Okay, so scratch what I said. I'm going to move it. I'm going to put the deodorant in the bottom cabinet of the sink. And I'm thinking that is the best way for him to do it. Unless you guys kind of observe and find a better time, that's when he should do it. The tricky thing is, I know he gets ready by himself, but he is gonna need to add this as a step. So maybe you guys can just kind of let him know, like, that you're gonna add this step ahead of time. And so he can pretty much get ready on his own, but you're gonna check in with him toward the end of his shower to make sure that he gets the deodorant on. If he wants to, like for privacy purposes, like if he is starting to feel like he just wants to get dressed on his own, maybe he can put his underwear and his shorts on and then do his deodorant. But whatever we do, I want everyone obviously to be on the same page and doing it the same way, because he needs that very strict routine or he's gonna forget. So Bree, I don't know if you want to kind of brainstorm based on everything I just said, what is the best, and then write it out so everybody's doing it the same. Or if you just want to tell me, I'll make a video once it's all decided. But let me know how you guys will be able to do that, and just monitor that he is using the deodorant, because right now I don't think he's doing it every day. Okay, so that's it for that. The other thing is, so a lot of these are about hygiene. He's been getting dandruff, and I really think it's because he's not, he's doing an okay job of washing his hair, but it's not great because he doesn't use his fingertips. He uses I think he does a lot of this, and that's fine. But I was kind of thinking about, for him, it's really twofold. It is a sensory thing, like really getting in like this is like a weird sensory feeling for him, because it's not something he does, and he doesn't really brush his hair, so he's not used to feeling things on his scalp. And then it's also a motor thing. He struggles and has always struggled significantly to do that kind of movement with his fingers from the time he was a baby. Like he just doesn't use his fingers like that. So I was thinking, and then once you add the shower and the water is coming down on him, like it completely throws him off. I was thinking I bought this, and I have two of these. One is all purple, and then this one is pink and white. It might be easier for him when he washes his hair to do this, and kind of get the sides and the back and the front really good. I mentioned it to Bree and she said he can wash his hair like normal and then he can go in with this when he's rinsing his hair out. I thought that was a really great idea. So that way he still does this and then he just has to, but again, we're adding a step, right? But I think getting in with this will help kind of work. And maybe the dandruff is because he's not getting the soap out good enough. I don't know, but once I get in, so like when I get in there and I give him a really good wash a couple days in a row, the dandruff completely goes away. So it's definitely something to do with him washing his hair, but what part of that, I don't know. So I was hoping we could add this, but again, I know that's tricky because he's very independent now and he likes that independence. He likes being in there on his own. So I was wondering if everybody can be on the same page and maybe just pop in, kind of prep him ahead of time that this is a step that we're adding, and then pop in when he's in the shower and just kind of help him make sure he's doing it and all that good stuff. And then, or maybe, and this is again something for you guys to all kind of decide, and then Bree, if you could just write it out so everybody's doing the same thing, or tell me and I'll write it out. But maybe we start this out of the shower. Maybe we just get him used to it, which is something that I tried, and it is like a sensory thing. Like he's not loving it. He doesn't hate it, and he's not saying no, but he's kind of like, oh, okay, done, because he's not used to feeling things on his hair. We've never really had to brush his hair. Like we just keep it so short. So maybe we start there and then work it into the shower. I don't know, but I think this is a really good idea to help him get a better head wash. Okay, so there's that. The other thing I wrote down, so dirty and clean. So in his laundry baskets, on his laundry baskets in his room, one says dirty, one says clean. The clean one is for like if he's cleaning up his bedroom and the clothing on his floor is clean, he can put it in the clean. So like sometimes he'll pull things out of his little cabinets and they fall onto the floor. So they've not even been worn, but usually like if it's on the floor and it's laid there for several days, he'll throw it in the dirty laundry. So instead of doing that, if it needs to be folded before it can go back in, if it can't just kind of slide right back in, he can put it in the clean laundry basket. Or, you know, there are times where Max will wear something and then he'll change because he's going somewhere or whatnot, and he's only worn it for like a couple of hours and he's not so active that he sweats a ton. So he could just put it in his clean pile. It's not necessarily dirty. So that's what that's for, but it kind of occurred to me now, another kind of change to the routine of things. When he is washing his clothes, he needs to bring both his dirty and his clean basket down. So the other day, I think he just brought the dirty and he did his laundry the way he was used to, but he wound up taking the clean and dry clothes and putting them back into the dirty basket, which was fine because I knew they were clean, and then I took them out and I washed them. But like for him, if he was to bring that back up and put it in his room, then he'd start throwing dirty clothes on top of those clean ones. So now when he goes to do his laundry, if there's laundry in the dirty basket, he's got to bring that down, and he's got to bring the clean basket down. So he washes what's in the dirty, and when the clothes come out of the dryer, they go into the clean basket. And then eventually down the road, I think he'll work on folding laundry. But for now, I will just be going into his room and emptying his clean basket, and I will fold his laundry and put it away for him. So that was just something, it's a different kind of change for him to now get used to when he's doing his chores. So there's that. In terms of chores, over the summer, it's flexible and everything, that's fine, but we should probably start the change now for the fall. I was actually hoping chores is the first thing he does instead of the beginning of his afternoon routine. And the reason for that is it's more functional that way. So like when my boys get up, my older two, they do their morning responsibilities. They put away the dishes, they wipe down the kitchen counters. Like when we leave for work, the house should be pretty put together and clean. And so then when Max goes to do his chores, there usually isn't much for him to do. There really isn't much for him to do, because if the washing machine isn't, the dishwasher, if the dishwasher isn't full, there still shouldn't be dishes in the sink because the older boys do it. So what I was thinking is Max can wake up, he can do his morning routine, and then he should check the dishwasher to put away the clean dishes, load the dishwasher with any dirty. He can start his laundry, which is really good because then later in the year, as he moves into folding laundry, all his clothes should be washed and dried by the end of the day, and he'll have time to practice folding. I'm trying to think of what else. I think one of the other things was wash a dish. There might be, like, if he unloads the dishwasher, there might be a dish in the sink that maybe he washes or something. So it's really just, it's just better even over the summer if he does it kind of first thing in the morning. Because even now I'm finding that my older kids don't get up till like 10, but by the time they're up, I'm on them, like, do your chores. So by the time Max gets around to it, a lot of the stuff is typically done. And then that brings me to his chore chart. What did I want to say about his chore chart? Oh, if I kind of feel like if he checks and there isn't anything to do. So let's say there's not enough laundry to do a load of laundry, and he's like, oh, I checked my laundry, there's no laundry, and he checks it off. I don't necessarily think he should be earning whatever the amount is. It might be 15 cents or 25 cents, I don't know. But if he's not doing it, I mean, maybe he can earn 5 cents because he checked and he made sure nothing needed to be done, so he can earn a little, but I don't know if he should really be earning the full amount if he's not doing anything. I don't know if that's being nitpicky. It was just something I thought of. But I don't want him to feel penalized. And so there's always like other things that he could do. And that's where maybe, okay, there's not enough laundry to do, but well, what else could I do? And maybe that's where we teach him, walk into a room, look around and see, what can you do? You know, like if there's toys, pick up the toys. If there's pillows on the floor, put the pillows on the couch, maybe. And then he could earn his money that way. So he would go and it would be like, okay, there's no laundry, so we can check that off our list, but let's just make sure there's nothing else we can do. So maybe he just kind of goes through a couple of rooms and notices if things are out of place, or like if he walks into the dining room, a lot of times he clears his spot, but he doesn't wipe the table down, and so there's crumbs all over. Maybe he could start to just notice those things and earn some money that way. And for that, he would need help. Like he probably wouldn't be able to do those things independently, but just teaching him to notice, walk into a room and notice when things are out of place, or if there's something that he could do, that would be great. Because that's something even my grown husband doesn't do. Like, I can't tell you, like, people walk, there's like stuff like ready to go upstairs, and my boys and my Greg, they walk by it and nobody does anything. So it's not a bad thing to teach him young, Max, to just notice, like, oh, I didn't have to fold laundry, but there's other things I can do. Okay, so there was that. And then the last thing, I'm going to go get it. Hold on one second. I bought a set of notebooks. There's a bunch in here. And I don't know if you want to use one or two of these for math, or if maybe we take one of these notebooks and divide it in half and use the first half almost like for balancing Max's money account, like almost like balancing a checkbook, but not in a checkbook. And then the other half we could use as almost like a list or a menu of things Max wants to potentially choose to work for or to earn. So what I mean by using one of these in the front part as like his checkbook, I thought this. I feel like we could do like something where he colors as he earns money, so visually he can see how close that he's getting. And I think that that's a great idea, like behaviorally. But for math, like as part of his math program and routine, sorry, I'm trying to open this. What I thought he could do is this. He could write down, you know, like Max's money, and that's it, right? And he can start as he earns to record it. So let's say Max, let's just use an even number. Let's say Max has $5 right now. So it would say Max's money, and then his starting number is $5. And then let's say he uses his special chore chart upstairs to earn $1. Well, then during math, he can, especially if he does his chores in the morning, he can come down here and it can be like, okay, well, Max, how much did you earn today? And if he doesn't remember, he can take his chore chart and his calculator, and we can teach him how to use the calculator to do cents, because I know he's not earning dollars, he's earning cents. So he can add 0.25 for 25 cents and 0.15 for 15 cents. He can add it all up, and then he can total it, and it'll be, he earned $1. So then he's got his $5, and then underneath he can write plus $1. And then, well, what's 5 plus 1 is 6. So he can total it all up, and then that's it, right, for that day. Now the next day, let's say he complains or he refuses to do a chore or whatever. There's not enough chores to do, whatever it is. Let's say he earns 75 cents. Well, he can take his little chore chart and his calculator, and he can add it all up, and okay, he earned 75 cents. Well, now he can record that. So he's got $6 now. $6 plus 75 cents is $6.75. And he can start to see how we add the money up, and then, you know, in the back is where whatever it is that he's working towards. So I thought that was kind of like a really good life skill, and almost like taking the math that he's learning and applying it, but keeping track, because, and this is what I kind of where I'm going with this, I thought it would be really good if Max is doing that in the front, and then in the back of his book, he's got some things written. So let's say he writes Thomas the Train, $15, and that's something that he wants to work for. And then let's say he's like, oh, I really want this Hess truck, and it's like a Hess flatbed. And then he writes Hess flatbed, $40. You know, if he's got his little menu in the back and he's earning in the front, then he can start to see, okay, I earned $15, and then he can flip to the back of his book and he can see, I have a choice. I can buy the Thomas the Train for $15, and then this is gonna go back to $0. Or I can save my money, and in a few more days, I can get that Hess flatbed truck, because we're just gonna keep adding and adding the money. I think for Max to have like a menu of things in the back that he's working towards with dollars and cents, and then that stuff going on in the front where he's adding and subtracting based on what he's doing, he might not understand it at first. I think at first he's gonna go for, yes, I want the quick reward. I want the $15 Thomas the Train. But after he gets that, and then he sees like he's not getting the bigger ticket items, it may encourage him and help him understand that concept of saving to get something bigger. And I really also like the idea of in the back kind of keeping track of what he wants and how much, because then those are the items that we can use to teach like more and less, and what money amount is more, and which one do you want more, and, you know, kind of placing the value of money on different items and all of that. So I'm sorry, I know that was like really long, but I'm hoping that we can start that. And so I'm gonna leave these down here, and you guys can maybe work that in. And then the only other thing, I'm looking around, I don't see it down here. There it is, okay. I wrote Max, I started an address and phone number log for Max. So if during his writing block, if you guys ever want to have him like write, it doesn't need to be writing a letter. It could just be, "Dear Mama, a picture, love, Max." And then he can address the envelope, or there's addresses there. And there's also phone numbers because, and this is probably more for the fall, but he started leaving messages for Greg, but I think it's a good idea for him to practice leaving messages for other people and for multiple reasons. So we don't always call someone just to say hi. You know, sometimes we call for a reason. We call to ask a legitimate question or whatever it is. I don't know. But eventually getting him to make phone calls and FaceTime, I think would be awesome because it'll help him feel a little less lonely and give him some good social conversation practice. And so I can keep some of those phone numbers there for that too. Okay, that's it. This was hella long. I'm so sorry. Ask me if you have any questions. While Greg and I are gone, we're going to leave Saturday. By the time you see this, we will have left Saturday. We are coming home on Thursday, and hopefully if Max can have some play dates with Cahill in there, or Brayden or whatever, I think that would really be helpful. If he does ask, that's when we're coming back. And we told him that this is not holiday. It is, but I feel so guilty. I don't want him to think we went on holiday without him. That like kills me. So we just said that we were picking Jackson up from camp and taking Jackson and Xavier for a special school. They have to do a special school event for a few days, and then we're coming home. So that's it. And call and text me if you have any questions. Okay, bye.